everyone, and welcome to the Collider Star Wars Rebel recap show. I have taken over from John Campion and kicked him out. No, I did not do that. We are back from our long break. Sadly, a long break after the holiday break. We're back with a new Star Wars Rebels episode. So excited to be here. Princess In Lothal. This is season 2, episode 10, if you don't count the movie. 2.5, 10, 8. Now we never forgot that. I am joined by the awesome host from Jedi Council. Right here to my left.
Hello, I'm Tiffany Smith.
Hello!
What you guys didn't get to see was us prepping before, and this guy
I jumped the
was
gun.
a little
I
eager
jumped the
to
gun.
start, and he was like, hello!
Hello!
That's for your sign-in.
Also to my right.
Kristian Harloff here, guys. So excited to be back talking Rebels. It has been way too long. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about today.
So before we get into A Princess in Lothal, which featured Leia, which is awesome. Let's talk about, this is a really cool trailer that was released.
Holy moly.
Just last week. You and John Campia did a little reaction video to it, which was a lot of fun to watch. So much revealed. David Filoni even said maybe a little too many spoilers in it. He kind of warned the Star Wars Rebels audience, be wary if you watch it. Of course we all watched it, though. We had to watch it, and we loved it. But what did you think? Like, what were some things that you took away from that?
I mean, I think that if nothing else, this trailer showed that they're going to be explaining a lot more about the cinematic universe through Rebels. Because that one shot alone, I mean, I obviously got a ton of tweets at Tiffany's tweets
Nice
about
plug.
just doing my thing. But the shot where Ezra picks up the lightsaber and it's green, and it's Kylo Ren's build of the lightsaber, but it's green. So that was interesting to me. And then obviously, I mean, the final shot, they're not going to come out and say it yet, but Darth Maul is back!
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
I mean, they certainly didn't shy away from the lore of Star Wars, like you were saying, Tiff, with The Force Awakens. There's some nods there. Now, even one of the, it looks like they have flashback to the Old Republic. There's a lot of Old Republic ships, Old Republic lore. The voice of one of the guys in the helmet sounds like Snoke, for God's sakes. I mean, there's so many different things, but the reveal of Darth Maul, which I think you were alluding to, was amazing, because at first, when we were doing the reaction, I didn't know who it was, and then you go back, it's clearly Darth Maul. But the last shot of the entire trailer of Ahsoka fighting Vader, then we go, wait a minute, it's going down. And we also find out in that trailer, the question that I think that we were all asking, does she know? She knows.
Oh, and I love the fact that she's the one voicing over the entire trailer, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Like, just hearing her voice and, you know, the connection that the fans have to this character so much, I think that just says a lot, that she is going to be kind of the overarching heart of this back half of this season.
What did you think, David?
Because we don't still know what's been going on with Ahsoka. Remember when I think it was during the Siege of Lothal, and she sensed Vader's presence. Now, we don't know if she knew exactly who that was or not, but she said, I need to go search. I need questions that need answering. We don't know where she's been. We don't know what she's been up to. And I feel
we're
like
going to find out.
And I feel like even though Kanan and Ezra are, I guess when I call them the main characters, I feel like it looks like the second half, Ahsoka might become the main character, and perhaps this might be the last time we're going to see her. I mean, at the end of the season. I hope not. I'm not trying to predict. I hope not.
I think it's certainly possible, and I think it probably is. And to be honest,
Yeah.
I like her as a character, but I'm not going to say I hope not, because I actually kind of hope so, because I don't know. I don't want to just keep characters alive because I like them. I just don't think that I think it serves her story the exact opposite of the way that Vader redeemed himself by saving Luke.
Yeah.
He's going to do going further down the dark path by killing his old Padawan.
Well, the interesting thing is, and again, getting so many tweets about everyone asking, do we think that Ezra is going to become Snoke? Like, if you think about the fact that if it is Vader who ends up killing Ahsoka, and Ezra sees that, like, I don't know how he would go to the dark side after seeing that. I feel like he would fight it even more, but I don't know, obviously.
Or maybe that turns him to I mean, because anger. I mean, that's how does he react to it? So, because you look at everything that's going on in that trailer, they're even alluding to it. They're saying the dark side pulls to him.
Yeah.
We've been saying that was going to go down for a long time as well.
Well, too, we see the Sith holocron.
Right.
Like those the kind of pyramid-shaped objects, the holocrons.
That's
so,
from
I mean,
Old Republic also.
Exactly. We've been wondering. That's how Darth Revan, well, that's Legends now, but Darth Revan and them trained and learned from those holocrons. Or no, sorry, Bane. Bane found a holocron of Revan.
Right.
And that's how he got his knowledge. So you wonder, John Campy's been talking about it all season now, the possibility of Ezra going dark side.
Yeah.
They're hinting towards it. Maybe it's too obvious.
Well,
but
and one of my
towards it.
favorite shots too, which I don't necessarily know exactly what's going on, but where there's the circle of Jedi, the green lightsabers.
Yeah, I don't think that those are Jedi though. I think they're protectors. They're protectors of the Jedi temple. Now, whether or not they're just pure Jedi, I don't know.
The guys in white.
Like,
I think that because they're fighting
Force ghosts.
No. They're protectors of the Jedi temple. They might be old school. I don't know what they are, but they're certainly fighting. Not only are they fighting the Inquisitors, they're fighting against Kanan and Ezra as well too. So maybe they're protecting that temple. Maybe I think what probably happens is as Kanan and Ezra have arrived at that temple, they kind of. You remember Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade when they had the warriors that were going after them? He turned out they're actually good guys, and I think that they're going to probably come together and then fight the Inquisitors. But the question is also who that third Inquisitor is. Dave Filoni had an interview afterwards and said that we're not going to reveal too much about him, but he's the third guy. Is that anybody that that we're going to learn about more, or is he just kind of a throwaway extra?
What about Yoda? Good to see Yoda.
Didn't like his look. Wasn't a fan of the look.
He looked kind of. He looked young.
Weird. You think he looked young?
Well, but he's in the spirit world. He can,
No, he's not dead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm getting my timelines mixed up.
He looked young. It's hard because I'm like, sometimes, when animation, they do like cutesy versions of the character. I'm like, it felt a little bit like a cutesy version of Yoda. But at the same time, I'm like, everything in this world is kind of like smoothed out and so
you don't see wrinkles really.
So I think that when we actually watch the episodes it will be better. I wish that I had I was excited to see Yoda, but I definitely didn't have the that's the Yoda I know kind of feeling from the trailer.
It was the voice. It was the voice.
If I wanted to say spirit world, I meant that because it looks like he's in space when they're talking. Like they're not physically on the same, But I mean, it's just that voice just sounds just like, of course, just like
that's
the
Frank Oz.
It's Frank Oz. It's perfect. It's perfect. So going into the episode now, Princess in Lothal. What's so cool is, again, we have all these teases of Ezra possibly going dark side. Ezra is dealing with learning about his parents' true fate. We know that, they're not around anymore. They're dead. And you keep thinking okay, this is going to be where he's going to turn. But it looks like as the episode moves forward that he has a more, positive outlook on everything. And maybe that's not the case. But, going back, what do we think of, Tiffany, starting with you, what do you think of A Princess in Lothal?
Obviously, as soon as I knew that Leia was the princess that was going to be in Lothal, I was very excited. When they showed that little clip of her, I was like, she is what I would imagine her to be at that time. That, she is feisty, she's smart, she's quick, she's brave. So I loved all of that stuff. But I think this episode for me, the biggest standout for me in it was seeing Ezra and Kanan together. They were like a team.
Yeah.
So much that they work together, and so much more than I think we've seen in any of the other episodes to date, where, Kanan even trusts Ezra a little bit more, and Ezra is much more willing to trust Kanan in moments. But you still have the sassy teenager that Ezra is, because sometimes he says stuff and you're like, you just want to smack him. You just want to be like, Ezra, shut up. But I like that they're not getting rid of that part of him, because you're like, he is young. He is a kid still.
Kristian, what about you?
I enjoyed the episode. I didn't love it, but I liked it, and I thought that for me what Tiffany really enjoyed about the team dynamic is what I also really liked, because I think that from everything that we're speculating and what's eventually going to happen with these two, and if Ezra does indeed go to the dark side, you've got to show them as this team.
But I don't want to see Anakin Obi-Wan again.
But you didn't really see that in the prequels. You saw it in the Clone Wars. But that's not. I don't mind seeing Anakin and Obi-Wan, that type of thing, because they're not Anakin and Obi-Wan. This is what happens in the mythology of Star Wars in general.
What if Kanan goes bad instead of Ezra?
It could be a twist, If they keep teasing Ezra, it might be too obvious.
It's certainly not out of the realm of possibility. I just don't see it happening, because I think that where Kanan's got more of the Obi-Wan in him than, and obviously, and you're absolutely right. They could twist it. They could twist it and say, "Oh, you thought it was going to be Ezra, but it actually Kanan." But I think we're probably safer bet to go with Ezra. But the episode itself, I think that the things that I liked, the team dynamic, watching not just Ezra and Kanan, but all of them, and just kind of one-upping the Empire, and they're going after the B tier team here, and it's like you don't have Callus, you don't have Vader, there's no Tarkin, so you're always gonna pull up, get the fast one over them, and it worked, and the humor, the banter was there. Leia, I thought was handled very well. I thought that, I know there were some complaints in the initial trailer that she sounded too old. She sounded old in New Hope. When she was 19, she sounded like she was 40. So I loved the way what they did with her. There were some things I didn't love, but overall, I was a fan of what they did with her.
I liked learning about how Ezra's learning about all the kind of intricacies of the politics, how everything works. You know, it's like, well, hey, why don't we just go in by force and just take everything away? And Princess Leia's like, no, we're playing a game here. You know, I can't see the Empire. They have to believe that I'm still a part of it. They believe that I'm still representing Alderaan and still on their side. Like, you know, Ezra has this very black and white view of how everything works, and he's slowly learning, you know, because Leia seems so much older than he is, even though age-wise they're probably not that far apart, but they just seem so much older. Because she's, what, 15, give
15,
or take?
She's probably the same
15
age.
years?
Yeah,
so
she's the same age, because her and Luke were the same age.
Why do I think she was supposed to be like 19 or something? Oh,
No,
I'm
she's
thinking
not.
of Rey. I'm thinking of Rey.
Yeah, so I mean, I thought I enjoyed this episode, but I think because of the trailer and all the cool stuff we saw, and we only get a half, well, I guess 20-something minutes without commercials, it feels like a little bit of a letdown because I want to see all this cool stuff, but I know it's coming. They're building
That's
towards
like a
that.
whole season
I know,
trailer, though,
it's too
not a
much.
one-episode one. And I have to say, I love any time that Zeb is on the screen.
Yeah.
Like, I love him on the show. He's
When he
so
knocks them
funny.
out,
The moment where they're like, make it look real, and he's like, yeah.
He's like,
He gets so excited to just like knock them out. And I think, you know, that comic relief where he's the muscle, but he's still funny and still has heart. And I love that.
And what I also liked, by the way, with the Leia element was that you also have to realize she can't just go and say, I'm a rebel, and start firing. She's got to like maneuver it to make it look like they are stealing her ships. I thought that was smart. I thought that they don't. I love the way Dave Filoni pays attention to everything that came before him and continuing the continuity into the canon, because we as Star Wars fans will call you out on that very fast. So he knows that, he's aware of it, and it adds to her character.
I also thought it was really interesting how they handled her seeing people using the Force or Jedi.
Right. Cool.
Because I was like, what's her reaction going to be? Does she know that she's sensitive? Does she believe? Does she not? So I liked that, because those are things where it's like you kind of got to see, obviously, in the films what her take on it was and then what she learns down the line, but you don't ever actually get to see as much before and when she is just straight up in the politics. So I thought that was cool.
So it's cool, and Ezra is just like, watch this. Let me, donks him, knocks him out, and all that. So, you know, we liked there are always some weaknesses in every episode. So where's some things you didn't like, Kristian?
Show me point a blaster at me.
You hold the blaster. They hold like this.
If you were a stormtrooper in this world, you could not hit me from this angle. I mean, I know that the stormtroopers.
Well, it's because they're bent. Like,
I
they're
know
like
that
this,
the stormtroopers in general are bad shots, but I mean, they're taking it to such a joke. Like, you watch.
We were watching it together, Kristian and I. There was one scene where I was like, okay, they're not even guarded. It was Chopper and what's the other other guy's name that's helping them?
Clancy Brown.
Brown, the prisoner.
Clancy
the
Brown.
prisoner.
But it's Clancy Brown's character and Chopper that are like taking the gravity locks off. There's no cover, and the stormtroopers are just shooting at them,
exposed, and they can't hit them. And it's like,
haven't hit them one time.
You lose a bit. I mean, like, I get that the joke has always been the stormtroopers can't hit anything. Although Obi-Wan says that they're precise shooters in Episode 4, and it became a bit of a joke. The other thing is, again, as much as I liked the Leia stuff with trying to one up and show that the Empire that they're trying to steal my ships, it was like, the Empire was so dumb. Like they didn't try to piece anything together at all. And it's like, and I get, this is where that it changes the balance of being a Star Wars show into a kid's show sometimes. Right. And I get it. It's on Disney XD, and sometimes you got to deal with that stuff. But for those little moments, took me out of it.
Well, I think that it also, too, it was the back and forth that was fun, because you got to see that she was almost enjoying it. Like, that we got to keep seeing her do something and then go to the guy and be like, I don't know. And in the back of her mind, she's like laughing at them, you know, and because she doesn't actually get to punch them or, you know, go off and say I'm a rebel and never come back. So I liked that part of it. The other moment that I thought was interesting there were some moments between her and Ezra that I was like, does this feel like Anakin and Padme at all to anyone else?
Are you an angel?
Like, just that it was like, I mean, even when he's like, look what I can do.
Yeah, showing off.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the show gets serious when it needs to, Kristian. Like, I agree with you. I think sometimes it can get silly because it is still a kid show, but the show gets serious. Like, so when Vader shows up, everything's serious. They're not being silly when Vader shows up. Like, he's a real threat. This guy can
when
really...
Ezra's dealing with his parents.
They take time to slow down, but I think you're right. It's hard to find that. I'm just glad we don't have those droids from the Clone Wars or just those
Roger,
like all that. I just don't miss that at all.
Oh, listen, as far as the I mean, I didn't really mind, like, 'cause some of the jokes that they hit, like you were mentioning before, Zeb, his humor's perfect.
Yeah.
Like that's the type of Star Wars humor, and it's more like the goofiness and the silliness of the, like, when there's stormtroopers who are supposed to, these are the soldiers of the Empire,
Yeah.
and I know that they're playing off the mythology again that they can't shoot, but you're asking a lot for us to believe there.
Yeah.
Before we end our reviews, we always talk about what we're looking forward to coming up. We do little predictions. I think I've ever been right. I think I'm still hoping Obi-Wan shows up. Kristian, let's start with you. Do you have any predictions of what we're going to see going forward? Obviously, we saw that awesome trailer.
Well, I mean, we saw a lot of cool stuff. That Ezra's potential run to the dark side. I'm hoping that planet that they go to is indeed Moraband, which is the Sith planet formerly known as Korriban. But I'd love to see what happens on that planet. I want to see how they introduce Darth Maul into this world. I believe he's going to be a huge part of this series going forward. I don't think he's a one-off. I think there's going to be a lot to do with him, and you'll learn more about how he was on the run. I think that they have to catch people up who didn't watch the Clone Wars on how he survived. I think that, because a lot of people who don't watch Clone Wars are like, how the hell is Darth Maul alive? A lot of people tweeted that to me, so that's got to be explained. There's it's that old Republic mythology, because they even said, what does Ahsoka say in the very beginning about legends? She says something about legends up top, and I think that there was a nod, but it was a nod to, I believe, again, a nice subtle nod to actual legends of the Star Wars universe.
Someone tweeted that, and they were like, "Do you think that was a nod to it?" And I was like, "I do. I think that they understand that people are excited, or I think it was something like there's some truth to all legends, something
I think
like
something
that.
along the lines.
And I think that was a great thing for people, because as fans, we're like, I read this thing and I read this series and I checked this out. Does that mean that I'm totally like I have to throw all that away? It doesn't have anything to do with it, even characters or storylines that I really connected to. But sorry.
What are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I'm looking forward to, like you said, is Darth Maul. Seeing that character. I love villains on these kind of shows. In comic books, that whole storyline where it's, they don't necessarily see themselves as villains.
Right.
He says something. What's the line that he says in the trailer?
Call me old master.
Yes.
Old master.
That line in itself, I was like, who is he talking to? Who is he gonna train?
Ezra.
Is it though?
Yeah, man, that's definitely
I don't
Ezra.
know.
Oh,
We don't
Kanan? Is it
know.
Kanan?
We
Nah,
don't know.
Ezra. It's Ezra. Bet the bank on Ezra. And by the way, what about Vader and Ahsoka?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. I feel like the reason I'm not as excited as that is because I can kind of guess where I think it's going to go. With Darth Maul, I have no idea what they're going to do with this character, or who he's going to interact with, or, if it's subtly, like maybe he starts talking to Ezra through his Force dreams or whatever it is. We don't know. We're going to have to wait and see.
And is he still Darth Maul?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Darth is a Sith title.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
No.
See, I want to know more about Darth Maul. Just Maul.
Call me old master.
Just old master. I just want to know more about him.
So I want to piggyback off you, Tiffany, in that I hope some of these legends are true, because one of my favorite series was the Darth Bane books written by Drew Karpyshyn. The Rule of Two, all that. I hope when he sees one of those holocrons, we see Revan, we see Darth Bane, one of those old guys, old Sith from way back in the day from the Old Republic. I want to see those. Those are really interesting stories.
They were supposed to. Well, and this is, you guys may or may not know this, but Darth Bane appears in season 6 of the Clone Wars in holocron form or ghost form when Yoda is on Moraband. But Darth Bane and Darth Revan were supposed to appear in Clone Wars during an episode to where George Lucas it was written, they'd done the animation for it, and at the last minute George was like, I don't know if that fits the story, and they pulled it. So George, again, Filoni is very aware of the legends and what came before and what fans are, and so I wouldn't be surprised if you see.
Well,
Revan.
not only that, but Clone Wars, when it ended, they still had more stuff.
Totally,
they still had more scripts. They still had more story they were planning on doing.
Son of Dathomir.
I will be very curious to see if they take some of the stuff that they were going to use and find a way to pull that into Rebels.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, a lot more to come with Star Wars Rebels. Thanks for joining us again on Collider, Star Wars Rebels recap show. I was your host, David Griffin. I'm going to be here. I'm here a lot this week. I'm doing Arrow. I got The Flash I did yesterday. John Campy is coming back. Don't worry, I was just joking about me kicking him out of his chair. He's coming back. He's on vacation, a much needed vacation. But of course, I'm joined by an awesome panel, and they have places you can find them as well. Tiffany, how about for you?
You guys can find me on social media at Tiffany's Tweets. Tomorrow we'll be back with another Collider Jedi Council. And DC All Access is coming back. We start shooting episodes again tomorrow. And obviously, as always, if you want to see more of Kristian and I, we're on Movie Threesome for Fandango every week. And we're headed to Sundance for some special episodes. So keep your eyes peeled for that.
Kristian?
Like Tiffany said, make sure you check us out. We're going to be at Sundance, but you can follow me at Kristian Harloff, both Instagram and Twitter, and Collider Jedi Council. Myself, Tiffany, and Justin Bolger returns as well tomorrow, and we are going to be talking about, yes, the push date of Episode 8. We're talking about more rumors about Darth Vader being in Rogue One. They're heating up, so make sure you check that out tomorrow.
And I've been your host, David Griffin. You can find me on Twitter at GriffinDE. And while these two are freezing their butts off in Park City, Utah, I will be here in sunny California talking about some Arrow tonight. Can't wait to see you again on Collider.
And probably saying, hello!
Hello!